Pastor Andre Pierre Jefferson Sr. of the Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Hampton, Virginia. Well, the first step was just to really consider exactly the nature of it. And the nature of it, we were hearing different kinds of things. Like, at one time we thought it was mainly spread by physical contact or touching contaminated surfaces, so we were looking out for that. And at that time, we really did not know whether or not the aerosol, the respiratory droplets was really not that high. But what we knew is that it was something that was rapidly spreading. But last night, I got a message, and this message was something that was very serious from all the city managers on the peninsula, all of them. And they had asked that institutions not have any gatherings over 50 persons. And Bethel has always been a responsible church and institution in our city. We've always done whatever we could over the years to support whatever is in the best interest of the city. Yes. And certainly I just felt that it was our responsibility to obey or to respond to their request. And so we wanted to take every precaution. And so on that day, when the city officials across the region said that any meeting over 50 members ought not take place, that included businesses, movie theaters, and the like, and we thought that we should not have physical services at that time. We had some virtual experience already. It wasn't live, but we had some exposure on Facebook, and one of my cameraman, he would actually take videos of the services and after it would upload it. And so persons were experiencing it that way. The great things was, since we have a new church and we had a lot of new technology, so we weren't affected as bad as we could have been in the old church, because we really had mostly a brand new media setup. And so the challenge was to get them trained on it, even though we had the equipment, just to try to get them trained to be able to use it. Initially, I had tremendous attendance virtually, because there were not that many churches, especially in this conference, that had any kind of online exposure. So we were getting tremendous hits in terms of Facebook and YouTubes. But as we've gone on, it's kind of leveled off a bit, and mainly members and some friends watching on a regular basis. But in terms of attendance, I think that has been very helpful, the online experience. However, in terms of our seniors, we have been really trying to do what we could to bring them along. So that meant in terms of one-on-one interchanges, especially with the office staff. They've been really helpful in terms of guiding people, older saints, and how to manipulate the technology and the like, and also pointing them to online forums on how to be able to do it. And I think, but we still have some folks, even on Sunday morning, some people are still using a conference call. We had the challenge of really a brand new church being constructed, and the first Sunday that we were supposed to go in, we could not worship. So from March 2020 up until July of this year, people who had sacrificed and made a lot of did work very hard to build this new church couldn't worship in it. So that was a challenge. However, it was a blessing, because people were determined to make sure that the church remained functioning at a high level, especially financially. We had some persons who were given online through our online applications, and that went up tremendously in terms of persons who utilized that, persons who said they wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, and the like. But for us, and really from a lot of the pastors that I've talked to, many have increased. We have not diminished, and plus we're paying for this place, and so the persons want to support it. They don't want the place to go down in spite of that. Now, I think what helps with that is that many congregations have seniors, many who have a very stable income, so that no matter what happens, and they're really, for the most part, in most churches, they are a major support system. The seniors probably pay a greater proportion than any other segments of any African American church. So for us, we didn't take a hit. In fact, there were many months we rose above. And so that has been the greatest challenge I've seen among African American pastors. What are you doing with your youth? The problem is that even though youth are more technologically savvy, when you do a lot of stuff on Zoom, when you do a lot of stuff online, kids are tired. A lot of times they're on that. Well, especially last year before they went in person, they were on it all day. So you'd ask them to do stuff at night, and they're like, "Look, I'm just tired of Zoom." We are slowly trying to incorporate live in-person activities with the youth, but that has been kind of a challenge. The challenge is since that many of them are not able to be vaccinated, having adults that are willing to interact with them. That's been one of the great challenges. And it's tough because we have all of the in-person guidelines that the CDC recommends, even though some churches don't do it. So we've got to wear masks, we use sanitizer, we've got the social distancing, we've got a number of protocols. And so it's been tough, but one of the things that I believe that's in the history of African Americans is that real resilient people, that we do what we got to do. And so when we look at and see what we've been through, to be able to worship, these are inconveniences that we're willing to put up with, those who feel comfortable in coming. I've talked to persons who are 90 years old, 95. I said, "You ever experienced anything like this?" "No, Reverend." And so that gives you a kind of a context. And so when you have an organization that is in many ways built on gathering, that's built on, even when we do mission work, it's built on gathering, other kinds of projects like that. I would have never guessed, and I think most African American or any pastor would have guessed that we would have been all right financially if we weren't able to meet in person. And so that's what I would have told myself. It's going to be all right. Don't you worry. The same God that sustained you up to that point will actually show himself mightier in the midst of all of this.